Season 4 is finally here, and there are countless Easter eggs hidden around the island that I guarantee you haven't seen. But with Season 4 here, that means a new battle pass. To win one from me, it's as easy as dropping a like on the video and commenting your epic ID down below. And as always, remember to pop in code MMCS in the Fortnite Item Shop. From Jonesy's secret return to even Fortnite foreshadowing the future, we've got a ton of Easter eggs to get through. Just like the henchmen that are patrolling around the area. When you first saw them in the trailer, you might have thought, well damn, they look kind of familiar. And that's because they are. There's multiple styles to these Diamond Dealer NPCs, and the reason you may recognise them is because they're an updated, modern version of the wildcard skin. Look, they all match up. And while that Easter egg is pretty cool, this next one is even better. Just before the agents break into Kado Thorne's mansion in the trailer, only a handful of people noticed and spotted something that looked very familiar. This season's villain, Kado Thorne, does something that caught the attention of hardcore Fortnite fans, and that was him looking at Oro's skull. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, right? That's up until you realise that it's the exact same pose that Midas did all the way back in Chapter 2, Season 2. It's exactly the same angle, even down to the facial expression of them collecting their prize after eliminating one of their enemies. A pretty cool reference to Fortnite's history there, and it's very similar to the reference that we saw last season with the Ice King and Lorenzo. And that takes us straight into our next crazy Easter egg, because by now you've all probably broken into the highly secure vault at Eclipse Estates and found all of these artifacts that Kado Thorne has collected. Even one of them being Midas's hand. But that isn't the Easter egg here, because if you go onto the second page of the battle pass, you'll find this awesome loading screen. It's of Nolan, Chance and Antonia breaking out of the back entrance of one of these vaults. But take a closer look, because on further inspection, you can see that Kado Thorne has collected the Infinity Blade that we last saw all the way back in Chapter 1. Back then, we all thought it got vaulted when it was removed from the game, but we're only just learning now that it was Kado Thorne that went back in time and stole it from us. How crazy is that? And what if I told you that Fortnite added an Easter egg at Shady Stilts that literally no one has noticed? Now, last season, we found out that the ancient civilization that used to live here just randomly disappeared, because every year, Kado Thorne would visit during the eclipse and steal everything that they've got. So they decided to leave and abandon the jungle. As we know, Kado Thorne is a vampire, and what do vampires hate? Garlic. So if you head on over to Shady Stilts, you can see that in some of the village houses, that garlic was placed in some of the rooms to keep Kado Thorne the vampire away. Maybe in this live event we'll just end up throwing garlic at Kado Thorne. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it's little Easter eggs like this that keep Fortnite on top. We've already taken a look at the similarities between Midas and Kado Thorne, but could Midas actually be coming back? For years it's been hinted now that he'll return, and the parallels between Midas and Kado Thorne are insane. Both are collectors, both are obsessed with gold, and both have powerful devices. And believe it or not, there was a crazy Easter egg in the trailer to do with Kado Thorne's time-traveling device. Now, at the beginning of the trailer, we see the lights flickering at Eclipse Estates as Kado Thorne is using his teleporting device. It turns out, if you look at the top of this device, he teleported back from the 25th of March 2020 with Oro's skull. And at first, it doesn't seem like much, right? But that's up until you look up this date and what happened on that day in Fortnite. This date was all the way back in Chapter 2 Season 2 and was actually the release date of when Oro first arrived in Fortnite and the item shop. Only a very few people would have picked up on this, and well, guess what? You now know about it too. And something you've got to keep your eye on for this season also dropped in this trailer. It was only on screen for a split second. Did you catch it? Well, let's find out. Last season, John Jones was teased about his return quite a lot after we haven't seen him in Fortnite for what now seems like ages, and well, now I think we now know why. If you take a closer look at this scene where May throws the shield breaker EMP into the room with the CCTV, it shows something really interesting. Take a closer look to the monitor on the right and you'll see it's Jonesy doing push-ups. But why? Well, it looks like Kado Thorne had captured him and put him in this cell to keep an eye on him. He had Jonesy captured this whole time. Only people with a sharp eye would have noticed this in the trailer, and it could mean we could see the return of Jonesy at some point during this season. Fingers crossed. And with so much going on this season, I bet you didn't know that Fortnite was actually teasing this season to us for the last 2 years. This logo of the eclipse that you see everywhere this season has a very cool secret, and very few will know about its history and how long Fortnite have been teasing it for. We first saw this crescent moon, now Kato Thorne's logo, all the way back in Chapter 2, Season 7 on the Voyager skin. We then saw it again on top of V's head, then again during Chapter 3. It was literally a whole part of Ronik's set, part of the Order of the Waning Moon. All these characters must have seen sightings of Kato Thorne time traveling. And then we finally saw this crescent moon's appearance at the beginning of Chapter 4, on top of the vault we saw in Season 1, which was above the apparatus. Fortnite have literally been teasing this season for so long, and that means this season must be really important for the storyline, especially if they've been teasing it for 2 years. And you've got to check out this next Easter egg, because hidden deep within Eclipse Estates, you might stumble across Kato Thorne's bedroom, with his bed being in the middle. But take a second look, because Fortnite have made his bed into the shape of a coffin due to him being a vampire. How cool is that? Also dotted around these apartments are a ton of artwork, also referencing Fortnite's past, like paintings of the Cube event from Season 1, to even a painting of the Cubes, Dr. Sloan, and even an abstract painting of the Herald. And what about the special interactions between Meowscles and Fishthick? Now this is a cool Easter egg. Whilst exploring these new POIs, keep an eye out for Meowscles. He's no longer in his summer outfit, and he's currently on top of this ice structure. And if we approach him as Fishthick, he says, "I eat pieces of fish like you for breakfast." But what's even cooler is that if you then jump in game as Meowscles and find the Fishthick NPC, they have even more special conversation. So if we land in here and speak to Fishthick, he says, "Stay away from the goldfish." Get it, bruh? This is only the start of the silly conversation lines between these two hench guys, and I can't wait to see the rest of this rivalry get even better this season. And did you know Fortnite were teasing us Kato Thorne's arrival all of last season, and we didn't even realise? Last season, if you completed some of the snapshot quests, you would have found out that we had to steal the Chalice of Catastrophe for Aura, and then when we returned it to her, she tells us that she'll get her contact to seal it away. That was Kato Thorne. And we then completed the mission of stopping the Coral Buddies being sold to a wealthy collector too. He was teased to us the whole of Season 3, and now he's here. Also in the trailer, you may have noticed a potential Easter egg on the back of Kato Thorne's back. It went past pretty quick, but this looks like it was a teaser for the return of the kinetic blade returning this season.